Okay, let's look at part 4 of the final review. Question 12. Question 12. A student ran a cross-country race from school to a local park. The graph shows the student distance in miles from the park after running for X minutes. So this is the time, X minutes. All right, this is the distance. And what is the domain of the function? Domain. So what is domain? Domain is all possible x. Domain, all the possible x. So what are the x? Well, the x is from 0 to 40. So from 0 minutes to 40 minutes, everything between 0 and 40. And that means the student run to the destination after within 40 minutes. So the domain will be everything from 0 to 40. And that will be all real numbers less than or equal to 40. Right? The domain is this part. Okay, this is a domain. This is domain. Right? Okay, the answer is A. And next. What is the simplest form of this expression? So we want to simplify this. We want to simplify this. And to simplify this, let's first unpack. Let's first unpack. Check the two parentheses. There's nothing outside, so we can just write them out. 5x negative 5y squared plus 7. And then we can write out the other one. There's nothing outside the parentheses, so we can just take them out. And 7 subtract 2, that's a 5, right? These two will make a 5. Then we have negative 5y squared plus 2y squared plus 5. The 7 and negative 2 make a positive 5. And negative 5 y squared and plus 2y squared, that's gonna be negative 3y squared, right? These are similar terms, and we add them up. Negative 5 plus 2, negative 3, y squared plus 5. And be careful, here you cannot further add up, because you cannot add negative 3 with 5, because they are different. They are different terms. This 5 is a simple number, and this is a term with unknown or variable of y. So they are different. You cannot further add up. So that's the result. Negative 3y squared plus 5. That's it. That's it. All right. And also when they add up, they don't make a y to the fourth power. It will stay y squared. Okay. Next. Let's go to question 14. Which expression is equivalent to this? Again, we need to unpack. So this one, there's nothing outside, so you can just write them. Just take away the parentheses. And this one, it has a negative sign. It has a negative sign. So this is more like negative 1 multiplied by the parentheses. And that means we need to use the negative 1 multiplied by each term in order to unpack. So this will become a negative y. And then a negative 7. A negative 7. Okay? So this negative sign means you're going to use a negative 1 to multiply everything inside. Therefore, it will be negative 4 subtract 7. That's going to be a negative 11. And 3y subtract 1y will be 2y. Okay? And here again, you cannot further add up, because 2y, this term has a variable, and this 11 is just a simple number. So they are different terms, and you cannot add up. You cannot say this is going to be a -9. No, we need to stop here. We need to stop here. So it's going to be 2y subtract 11. And the answer is A. The answer is A. Let's go to question 15. Which polynomial is equivalent to this? Again, we want to simplify. This one, there's nothing outside, so we'll just write it 11r subtract 8. And here, this is a plus. This plus, it's just, so you can think of it as a +1 multiplied by the things inside. And you can think of it as this +1 multiplied by every term. We know 1 multiplied by everything is going to be itself. So actually, we can just take out from the parentheses. So we can just write as 5r subtract 9. That's because +1 multiply everything will be the same thing. So we can just write them out. And then let's do it. 11r plus 5r. That's going to be a 16r. Subtract 8, subtract 9. That's going to be subtract 17. 16r subtract 17. And we cannot further add up because they are different. They're different terms. 16r subtract 17. So the answer is B. Okay, you cannot further add up. We need to stop here. Let's do question 16. What are the domain and range of g of x equals -4? So how do you interpret this? So this is a function, and we can imagine this is a function machine. This is a function machine. And this function machine is called g, and it takes input of x. So that's g of x. That means this machine g takes x as input. So we input x into this machine. And what is the output? The output is the value outside. The output is -4. And that means for whatever x you put in, the machine will always give you the same result, -4. No matter what x you give it, you can give it any different value of x, the machine will only give you the output of -4. So therefore, we can say the domain is any x, and the range is just -4. So domain is any value, or like any real numbers, all real numbers. That's a domain. The range is just -4, and therefore the answer will be domain range, and I think that's A. That's A. Right? Domain all real numbers, range only -4. Okay, so this function only in output -4, nothing else. All right, let's go to 17. We have a linear function, a graph. What is the y-intercept? Oh, this is super easy, right? This is super easy. We know the y-intercept is where the graph. So where is that? Is it here? -4? No, it's not. -4 is not correct. That's wrong. We say the y-intercept is where it crosses the vertical, this y-axis, not the horizontal one. So this is the y-intercept, and that's between 2 and 4. So that should be 3. That should be 3. That should be 3. Okay. Let's go to 18. 18. Line M is graphed. So we have a line. Which linear equation can be used to represent a line parallel to M passing through the point 4 and negative 7. First, let's find out where is that point. 4, negative 7. This is negative 7. 4. Okay, so passing through this point and also parallel to M. M is a vertical line, so we are talking about a vertical line. That also goes through 4 and negative 7. Okay, and what is the formula for this graph? Well, this formula, if you look at the x, the x is always just 4. Any point on the line is the same, because they are verticals. They are on the same vertical line, so they have the same x, and so x is always 4. X is always 4, and y is anything. You know, y can be anything. So the formula is just x is 4. Like, you know, I only know x is 4. I don't care whatever. Y can be whatever, but x is 4. So the formula is just x equals 4. Like, you know, I only define x. X must be 4, but y can be anything, can be whatever. So we don't need to talk about y. Y can be whatever. You know, we don't care. But x must be 4. So that's the formula for this. This is not actually a function. We can say this is a graph. This is a equation, but it's not a function. If you remember, this is not a function. Okay. 19. Let's go to 19. The function 56 subtract 4y equals negative 5x can be used to determine the total amount of money in a coin jar after money is added for x days. So x is the days, y is money in the jar. What is the rate of change in dollar with respect to the number of days? Right. When we talk about rate of change, we mean slope, or m, right? We're talking about what is a m. What is m? And to do that, basically you already have the function formula. You only need to rewrite. Into y equals mx plus b. When you can rewrite into this form, you know the m. Right? Let's do it. 56 subtract 4y equals negative 5x. First, we want y to be just a 1y, right? Just 1y. And we also want y just on one side. So let's move the 56 to the other side. And we move this to the other side. This will become a negative 56. We'll flip. And we are left with negative 4y equals to negative 5x subtract 56. Now, the next step will be to divide. We want just one y, but here y is multiplied by negative 4, so we'll divide by negative 4. And we do that to cancel the multiply, so we have just a 1y. And also do the same thing. After you do this, you have just 1y, and on the other side you have negative 5x over negative 4, and negative 56 divided by negative 4. And though if we just do the division, you will see b will be how much? 56 divided by 4. B will be 14. Okay, this will be 14. That means B is 14. Now what is M? M is negative 5 divided by negative 4. So M will be negative 5 divided by negative 4. Remember, we don't need X because this is mx, so we only need the number part. Negative 5 divided by negative 4. If you use your calculator, they will tell you this is 1.25. 1.25. So M is 1.25. B is 14. Or we can say the initial money in the jar is $14, and the person saves $1.25 per day, and so the rate of change is 1.25 per day. That's B. Okay, rewrite into the y equals mx plus b form. Number 20. The graph below illustrates the cost for renting a cab at the yellow cab company and the blue cab company. Yellow and blue. What is the rate of change of the cost with respect to the number of miles for the yellow company? So this is the yellow, all right? This is the yellow. And they are only asking for the yellow cab company, so we only need to take care of this line. Rate of change, if you know what they mean, that's slope, or M, that's slope. So that they're asking you what is the slope for this line, right? You have to understand the question, what is the slope of this line? Now, how to do the slope? We need 2 points, and the 2 points better be easy for us to count. So maybe this one is a good one because it's at x is 0, y is 2. So we have 1.0 and 2. And let's pick another point. I think maybe this one is good. It's at 4 and 10. All right, 4 and 10. Hope you know what. I hope you know what's going to happen next. We will do x1, y1, x2, y2. Then apply the formula y2 subtract y1. That's going to be 10 subtract 2. Over x2 is 4 subtract x1 is 0. That's going to be, I'm sorry, I should write it here. The formula is x2 subtract x1. So on the top, it's going to be 8. At the bottom, it's going to be 4. So 8 divided by 4, that's a 2. Okay, that's a 2. Don't get a 0.50. It should be 8 divided by 4. You will get a 2. If you do 4 divided by 8 and you get a 0.50, that's wrong. That's wrong because it's top divided by the bottom. So the slope is 2, or the rate of change of the cost is $2 per mile. So the yellow cab charge $2 for each mile traveled. Question 21. Line L has the following characteristics. Line L is parallel to the line represented by the equation 3x plus 4y equals 8. Line L passes through the point -7 and 5. Which equation can represent line L? So first, let's look at the two characteristics. Parallel tells us if two lines are parallel, they will have the same the same slope, because they are facing the same direction. So if two lines are parallel, they will have the same slope. That means line L has the same slope as this equation. And also we know it passed another point. So if we can find out the slope from the first characteristic, and we can use this point, then we can do the point slope formula, right? Okay, let's do first find out the slope. To do the slope, we are going to rewrite into the y equals mx plus b form. So we want to 3x plus 4y equals 8. You want y on one side, so we will move this negative 3x. We'll move this to the other side. This will become a negative 3x. Okay, and then we have 4y equals to 8, subtract 3x. And then we will divide y by 4 to cancel the multiplier of 4. When you do this, you will be left with just this 1y. And you gotta divide everything on the right side. So y equals 8 divided by 4 is a 2. Negative 3x divided by 4 will be negative 3 over 4x. So this divided by 4, negative 3 over 4x. Now what is the m? What is the m? Is m the 2? Is m 2? No, that's wrong. That's wrong. M is a number in front of x. In front of x. So this number in front of x, that's m. That's m. Or actually, if we write it as y equals negative 3 over 4x plus 2, okay, that might make it more obvious. But, you know, even if they change the order, m is a number in front of x. So m is negative 3 over 4. Let's write it down. And we have a point, negative 7 and 5. And then we will use our point slope formula. That will be y subtract y1 equals m times x subtract x1. Right? Now let's just plug in. Y subtract y1, that will be 5, equals negative 3 over 4. And that's the m multiplied by inside the parentheses x subtract x1, that's a negative 7. Okay, so when we do the point slope formula, we'll have this. Now let's further simplify that. First thing, this x subtract negative 7, these two, we'll consider them, we put the two bars across. This will be the same as x plus 7. X plus 7, right? So we have y subtract 5 equals negative 3 over 4 multiplied by x plus 7, right? Now what do we do? What do we do? The first thing is we might want to unpack this parenthesis. We might want to unpack this parenthesis. However, you know, this is a fraction, so when you unpack this, you will have two fractions, and that will make things more messy. So let's rewrite this part. Let's rewrite this part. It's the same as, you know, you time this thing, you can think of it on the top. Now we can multiply by 4 on, we can multiply by 4. The reason why we multiply by 4 is we have a 4 divide. We want to do the backward, so do the reverse. You divide by 4, we multiply by 4. So they will cancel each other. And remember, when you do this on one side, you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So let's multiply. Let's multiply. When you multiply, this negative divide by 4 and multiply by 4 will cancel. So you will have just negative 3 multiply x plus 7. And on the other side, you will have 4, and inside the parentheses 4 multiply y subtract 5. And now we can unpack. So 4y and subtract 20 equals negative 3x. Negative 3 times 7, negative 21. All right, so we are close. We're close to the answer. Now we have x and y on both sides. Look at the options. They have x and y on the same side. So let's move the 3x. Let's move the 3x to this side. When you move it, it will become a positive 3x. So we will have 4y and positive 3x subtract 20 equals negative 21. And we only have one last step. We move this number to the other side. So move this number to the other side, it will become a positive 20. So if we just move it, this will become a positive 20. And the negative 21 plus 20 will be negative 1. So after we move it, we can combine them, we get a negative 1. And that's the formula that's for that line L. 4y plus 3x equals negative 1. Then what is the answer? 4y plus 3x equals negative 1, and the answer is A. Okay, it takes us some time to simplify the formulas. The basic thing is find m, use the point slope formula, and then simplify the equations to get where we are. All right, so that's a review for part 4, and that's it. Thank you.